And you may begin.
Hello class, my name is Jordan Bowe. Today I'll be sharing the information that I've gathered and provide a basic overview of surrounding remote viewing, the Monroe Institute, and Black-funded CIA programs involving remote viewing. Before that, however, I would like to share a story told by Sean Webb, who is a specialist in emotional intelligence, artificial emotional intelligence, and the algorithms of human emotion when he appeared on the Sean Ryan Show. Joe McMoneagle, who is internationally renowned as a master of RV, Legion of Merit Award winner, and once a chief warrant officer for the U.S. Army, received a phone call late one night in his hotel room in Las Vegas from his local sheriff's department back home in Virginia. A child went missing in his hometown area, and knowing his reputation, the sheriff's department asked Joe to help locate the child from his hotel room in Vegas. Joe cleared his mind for about 10 seconds and said, "Send your deputies out on this road to this particular location, tell them to get out of the car, get out of compass, and at 318 degrees, walk 1,209 steps. Stop, call the child's name out, and he will respond." About 10 minutes later, he received another phone call from the sheriff's department, saying that the compass reading at this location was leading right toward a steep hill. They further explained that kids 10 and under will not walk up a hill if they are lost, according to statistics. "What do you want us to do?" they asked. "Do what I said," and Joe hung up the phone. Another 10 minutes go by. They call Joe once more and say, "Thank you, you found him." Sean Webb explained that when they found the child, he was found on the back porch of a deserted cabin that had a light on. The child said that his dad told him if he was ever lost, find the closest light and stay there. So the child went up the hill, found the light, and stayed there. You may be asking what remote viewing is, or how Joe McMoneagle was able to locate the child. Well, according to the Journal of the Society for Psychical Research, remote viewing in simple terms refers to the phenomenon where an individual can perceive or describe objects, events, or locations that are far away without being physically present. It is as if they are able to see with their mind's eye, transcending the constraints of time and space. This ability is often associated with psychic or extrasensory perception, where individuals claim to access information beyond normal sensory capabilities. Around the time of the Vietnam War, it was brought to the attention of our intelligence agencies that Russia was practicing remote viewing and spending millions of rubles on it. This bothered our intelligence personnel and drove them nuts, so they decided to take a deeper look into remote viewing and how it is done, which brings me to my second point: Black-funded remote viewing programs. Marshall Payne wrote the following in the Journal for Spiritual and Consciousness Studies. They developed what is called a remote viewing program, where Ingo Swann actually did the training of your recruits. This was done at an Army intelligence headquarters at Fort Meade. One of the first guys they named was a fellow named Joe McMoneagle. These programs were Black-funded by Congress, which means that Congress had no clue what they were funding. In another source of mine, it is stated that the specific object of exploring RV was to determine whether or not it had enough consistency and stability for use in espionage, military espionage, in other words, spying. In 1995, President Clinton declassified several other research programs that were being funded by the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, and the DIA, Defense Intelligence Agency. The most notable project was known as Project Stargate, which Joe McMoneagle was part of. Today, everyone has access to train themselves to be a remote viewer, thanks to an establishment known as the Monroe Institute. The Monroe Institute. In 1958, a company known as Monroe Industries began funding a research project where they were studying accelerated learning through practical environmental changes. And with the results of their findings, they established themselves as the Monroe Institute in 1971. Their mission statement states, helping people create more meaningful and joyful lives through the guided exploration of expanded consciousness. What is accelerated learning through environmental changes, you may be wondering? Essentially, the Monroe Institute studies and develops psychic type abilities. They offer a number of courses via their website. The types of courses they have to offer include RV, out-of-body exploration, introduction to lucid dreaming, and astral projection, just to name a few. And that's a screenshot of their website, and that's the actual place. Everything I've shared with you all today may sound very far-fetched. A man finding a missing child while being thousands of miles away, an institute where they breed and train psychics, or our own government agencies spending millions of dollars to develop these kinds of powers. It almost sounds like a plot for a movie, but it is something very real, and it's a skill that we all possess. If there's anything to take away from this presentation, it is that your mind is a very powerful thing and can be used to your ultimate advantage. If you're all interested, I can take us through a quick example of how they would test first-time remote viewers at the Monroe Institute. If not, I will try to answer any questions to the best of my knowledge. Thank you for your attention. God bless.